One of the single most important components of selling and promoting your handmade or crochet products online are photos. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily take product photos at home using just your phone. So stay tuned. If you're thinking about selling handmade items for extra income or for the personal gratification of running your own business, you can do this quickly and easily, but you do need good photos. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive, but they do need to be 1, clear, 2, in focus, 3, attractive to the viewer, and 4, show off the product properly so the customer knows exactly what they're getting. Now, if you're new to the channel and are excited about finding out more about this topic, then hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to stay to the end because I'll also show you how to edit the photos all from your phone. Now, I love helping handmakers improve their online sales, and the single most important step is having good product photos. Otherwise, even if you drive tons of social media traffic or advertising to your product listings, without great photos and a way for them to make the purchase, your efforts are dead. Thankfully, getting started isn't complicated or expensive. Eventually, as your business grows, you might want to hire a professional photographer, but even with a great photographer that you hire, you can reduce your overhead costs if they focus on, say, the editorial photos, and perhaps you take care of the white background images. And today's video, I'm going to show exactly how. So let's get started. Okay, like I promised, I'm going to show you how to take product shots outdoors at home just using your phone. And here's how we do it. So first, you just need some general supplies that you can get from the art store, or I'll show you some things you can use that are just from like around the house. And the first one we'll use is just plain canvas, like the canvas you can get from like Michael's art store or your hobby shop. And we're gonna use that canvas as a backdrop instead of using a light box. Now, just so you have an idea of where I am right now, I'm at the side of my house. There's a little bit of an awning here, or not an awning, but like an overhang. So it creates a shaded area, but today is generally a sunny day, which is great for lighting. But in terms of where you want to be placed, you don't actually want to be in direct sun, because if you're in direct sun, your product shot is going to show a really harsh shadow, and that's really hard to edit in post-production. But if you shoot in the shade, or like on a porch, or kind of like in like beside an overhang, then you'll find that in post-production, and I'm going to show you how to do this because everything is going to be by your phone, then you'll be able to, I'll show you how to edit it, and you can control the lighting so much better. Do you hear the birds chirping? They agree with me. Okay, so now we're going to get started, and I'll show you how to just take a simple product shot from the side of your house. So I have a bit of a canvas here from Michael's, and I'm just going to place it right here. It's on my little side bistro table, or like you could use a picnic table or even like a folding table. And then I have a bigger one. You could use a big one or a little one. This is just what I happen to have around the house for whatever. They're pretty cheap, like around like $2–3 at the dollar store or a craft store. But I like these because there's no reflection on the white background. So right now you have a white background and you're thinking, how's this going to work? But I'll show you. Okay, now today we're going to use my scrunchies because this has just happened what I have on hand. So we're just going to place it right here. And today my daughter has lent me her phone so that I could take this image, because as you guys know, if you follow me, I shoot from my phone. So for now, I have to wait till I get a better camera. But anyway, I'm shooting from my phone, and I'm going to shoot the photo just from an iPhone. So I had it on the photo settings, I have it set to the highest resolution, and I'm going to hold it in front of here and double tap the subject. So double tap the center of it where the scrunchie is, just to make sure it's in focus. Looks good. So I'm going to hit the button to take the photo. Another thing you could do is, if it's a cloudy day, you want to increase the exposure or the brightness of your product. Make sure it's super in focus. And you could put your finger on this little sunshine button and increase the exposure, which will make it a little bit brighter. We don't want to wash it out, because if you have any white spots on your subject, then it's hard to edit later on, and you might end up with a subject that's too washed out, and then it's not representative of the product if you want to sell it. So we're just going to increase it a bit and then take the photo again. Okay, And in photography world, and I'm not a professional photographer, they call this bracketing, where you kind of like, you'll take a few where it's like dark, you'll take a few where it's a little bit lighter, just so in post-production you have some choices. Now ideally it's good if you have this on a tripod, but I'm using my tripod to shoot too, so I'm just gonna hold it really steady. But ideally if you could use a tripod to hold your camera still, then that would be great. We'll shoot one more. Great. And now you can also style it up if you want. Maybe if you want, you could add another product. So maybe this one would be a sort of advertisement where you're showing two at once. You could shoot them at different angles. I'll bracket it again, increase the exposure. Great. Now I learned this next little hack from Peter McKinnon, and I thought this is cool because I kind of have some of this stuff around the house. If you want to jazz up your product photo a little bit, I have something from a craft show display. So if you have any craft show displays that you use, I have this like piece of wood. So this is kind of cool. You could do this. You put this here. Take the photo. Another thing you could do that really makes the background kind of cool if you don't want a white background is a cookie sheet. Look at that. Kind of had this sort of like rustic burn mark. As you can tell, I'm probably not the greatest cook because I have a lot of burn marks on my cookie sheet. But actually, let's do it like this. Put it in the image. Focus, and you take the shot. Another place that I like to shoot is out on the porch. Like I mentioned before, it's not in direct sunlight, so you could probably see that there's a big glare on my face. So if I were out further from my porch, then there would be a lot of heavy sunlight. But I'm on my porch right now, and there's indirect sun. Actually, the sun's kind of facing here. There's a little bit of indirect sun here, so I could put my product right here. And a lot of the times early on, what I would use for straight background shots would be a white IKEA table. So I've got my white IKEA table here, and these are great for just straight product shots that you're going to put like in your product listing next to like an editorial photo, because you could just shoot a straight white photo here. And again, you could bracket it by changing the exposure a little bit. I'm gonna make it a teeny bit brighter. There. Another option that we could do is get rid of the table. And if there's a local craft store that sells like, or photography store, or even like an online Etsy shop that sells backdrops or craft paper, then you could also use craft paper and backdrops to create a great product shot just right here on your porch. Just using things from your home, like a bottle of water. Now this backdrop looks like wood, but you're gonna find that if you buy a wood backdrop or wood craft paper or something with like a decorative background, you can't tell the difference when it's in a product shot because everything becomes like one-dimensional or two-dimensional. So you can't tell that it's not on real wood. So this is a painted wood sort of backdrop. And I'm gonna put one of my scrunchies on here and shoot the photo. So focus by double tapping. I'm gonna bracket it a bit, so I'll go a little bit lower exposure. And I'll go a little bit more brighter as well. There we go. Now we're going to edit a couple of those photos that we just took outside using our phone, using only the photography app that's within your phone. So what we do is we bring up our photo app and we look for the photo that we took, and we're going to pick the one with the two scrunchies. From there we click edit, and then from the bottom you can see that there are some options to click on light, color, black and white. Now we're going to adjust the exposure a little bit. It's always good to adjust as little as possible so then you don't distort the image from its original form too much. We want to make sure we don't blow out the image so it's not true to the color. So this one makes the background nice and white without distorting the color of the image. It's also a handy tool to have the product with you, and I do this, and now not all screens are completely true to the true color, but it's also useful to have the product nearby so you can compare the color, the true color, to the color in the image, and you can tell if you have to adjust anything else to make it more true to the color of the actual product. So I'm gonna click, this is a good spot for the exposure, I think. And then, I mean, you could adjust highlights as well. I might change the highlights a little bit so I bring a little bit more detail back into the image. And shadows, do I need to adjust any of that? You can play around with it, but I don't think I'll be adjusting shadows. I'm gonna put it back to the original spot. So you could do that for all these different options. Now I'm gonna adjust the saturation a little bit, just to make sure it's a little bit closer to the color of the actual product, because I think the rose and the teal are a little bit richer than what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna color it to about here. And contrast, do I need to adjust the contrast? Maybe slightly. There we go. And then you could also make it black and white, but in this case, we are not going to make it black and white. And then I'm gonna click done. It'll save the photo, and now we can use this product shot for any online listing. Okay, so now we're indoors, but I'm in the room that I usually shoot my YouTube videos, and I'm using no other lighting except for the window lighting. And I'm gonna shoot the product photo from here, just from a plain IKEA table. Like I mentioned before, sometimes an IKEA table can give a little bit of a glare, but I'll also shoot it using craft paper or like a backdrop afterwards, so then you can see it, get an idea of the difference. So we have our product on the table, nice, all fully lit by just natural lighting from the window. And I'm gonna open my photo app, get it in focus by double tapping, and I'll take the photo. And I'm also gonna increase the exposure a teeny bit. Because there's only one light source, there's a little bit of a shadow, so I'm gonna try and adjust the exposure to make the picture a little bit brighter when I'm taking it, but I also don't want to blow out the image so that there's a lot of white on it, or else it'll be hard to edit out when it's in post-production. So I'm gonna make it a teeny bit brighter. And now I'm gonna shoot it with the backdrop behind it. This one will make it look like it's on a wood background. Maybe we'll put two of them here. And the shadow actually looks nice. It adds a little bit of a dramatic effect to it. So I'm gonna take the photo and I'm gonna increase the exposure a little bit, just to see if I can make it a little bit lighter without getting rid of the detail. Great. And now we're gonna see how to edit this in post-production using your phone. And here we are again, back in the studio, and we're gonna edit the photo that we took indoors. So this time we're going to choose, let's say, this one. We'll use the one with the backdrop on the table, and for basis of comparison, we'll choose the one with both scrunchies in them. So once again, we're gonna click edit, and then we'll always start in an order that is systematic so that you never miss a step of adjusting something. So I always start with light, and in light I usually change the exposure. So I'm gonna make the exposure a little bit lighter, but this time I wanna make sure that I don't blow out the detail of like the wood backdrop. Actually, let's adjust the highlights a little bit. The good thing about taking a good product shot is if you've taken a good shot, you don't have to adjust a heck of a lot. So let's check out the saturation, see if we need to make any adjustments to make it true to color. And we don't really, so I'm just barely touching any of the changes, because sometimes when you take a great product shot, it's good enough the way it is. Maybe what we move on to now is we're just going to simply crop it. We'll crop it into something as close as possible to a square, so then it fits the nice dimensions of whatever online software we use for e-commerce. Click done. Or maybe it's ready for a social media post. So there we have it. Friends, like I mentioned, I hope you found this post useful. Please comment below, or if you have any questions at all that you'd like answered, comment as well below, because I'd love answering any questions that you might have. So whether you're just getting started or whether you're already out there grinding, trying to build your handmade or crochet business, I wish you all a healthy, safe, happy handmaking life, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.